where I enjoy being, but I know that in the position I'm in, that's what's required of me to do. And
I'm 75 now, and I can't remember anybody except the Queen being there.
Whispers inside Buckingham Palace suggest Prince William has reached his breaking point. Sources claim he's finally confronting Queen Camilla. And it's not just about family drama. What explosive secret triggered this move? Something big is happening behind royal doors, and the monarchy may never be the same again. For decades, the royal family kept their issues behind closed doors. But now it seems Princess Anne has broken that tradition. According to palace insiders, Anne has reportedly taken legal action against Queen Camilla, a move that shocked the nation and royal observers alike. It's not just the act itself that's surprising, it's who did it. Anne has always been the quiet force of the monarchy. She's respected for staying grounded, working hard, and never stirring unnecessary drama. So when someone like her allegedly makes such a drastic move, people start asking serious questions. What happened to push her this far? What did she see or experience that made her break the family's golden rule?
Not just interest, but of service, of understanding. The way that people
keep everything private? Even more shocking is the ripple effect it's created. Reports suggest this moment might have been what finally pushed Prince William into action as well. It's rare to see legal tension unfold within the royal family, and rarer still for it to involve senior members so publicly. Something major is clearly unfolding, and if Anne's bold move is just the beginning, we can only imagine what Prince William is preparing to do next. To understand why Anne's alleged legal move is such a big deal, you have to understand her. Princess Anne isn't like the others in the royal spotlight. She's never chased headlines, never leaned into glamour, and never cared much about ceremony. What matters to her is duty, real, hands-on service. She's known for attending thousands of engagements without fuss. Over the years, she's worked with over 300 charities. And when it came to her own children, she made a bold decision most royals wouldn't. She refused royal titles for them, not out of rebellion, but to give them a more grounded life.
So there will always be problems that you have to catch up in the short term.
Anne has always stood by her values. She shows up, works hard, and doesn't waste time with drama. That's what makes this moment so important. If someone like Anne is willing to go public with a conflict, it's not out of impulse. It's deliberate. Her reputation has been built on practicality, consistency, and authenticity. She doesn't take sides unless there's a reason. So, what is it about Camilla that could lead her to cross that line? Could this be less about personal rivalry and more about defending the crown's deeper values? Camilla's journey to the throne has been anything but ordinary. For years, she lived far from the royal spotlight. But when her connection to Prince Charles became public, everything changed. She went from being a private figure to one of the most talked about women in Britain.
Can't mimic voices for love or money. I'm completely hopeless at it.
Her early public image wasn't kind. She was often blamed for disrupting the royal order, and public sentiment was slow to warm up. But quietly, steadily, Camilla began reshaping her image. She focused on charitable causes, aligned herself with royal responsibilities, and played the long game. Some believe this wasn't just personal growth, it was part of a plan. Even Prince Harry has hinted at this in past interviews, suggesting Camilla made strategic moves to ensure she'd one day wear the crown. And eventually, she did. But was this rise to power really earned? Or was it carefully orchestrated? That's the question still whispered in royal circles. Her ascent was slow, but effective. Yet, it stirred discomfort among those who had known the family long before her presence grew. Especially for Anne, who may have watched this unfold with suspicion.
You didn't throw things away. I'm that old. That often comes from.
Could it be that Camilla's rise wasn't as smooth behind palace walls as it seemed in public? To truly grasp the current tension, you have to rewind. The royal family's history is tangled with romantic entanglements, personal choices, and unresolved emotions. And at the center of many of these stories, Anne, Camilla, and a man named Andrew Parker Bowles. Andrew dated Camilla in the 1960s. He later became Anne's boyfriend. Royal insiders have long speculated about the triangle of feelings, loyalties, and quiet heartbreaks that formed during those years. Anne was reportedly fond of Andrew, but because he was Catholic an issue at the time, they couldn't marry. Around the same time, Camilla's relationship with Charles began gaining traction. This complicated web made future interactions between Anne and Camilla tense at best.
And suppress everything about her without suffering the consequences.
There were whispers that Anne never truly accepted Camilla's growing presence in the royal circle. Whether it was about old emotions or a sense of duty, the tension stayed. Even as they stood together at public events, something always felt a bit off. This isn't just a recent drama, it's decades of feelings, decisions, and missed chances all rolled into the present. And maybe now, those old emotions are finally breaking through the surface. Prince William has always been seen as the steady one, the composed, level-headed heir. He's balanced royal tradition with modern expectations. But now, reports say he's finally stepping into the storm. Sources suggest William may be preparing his own legal response involving Camilla. It's a bold step, especially from someone known for avoiding public confrontation. So what changed? It could be that Anne's reported legal move gave him the push he needed. Maybe he's been holding back, waiting for the right moment. Or maybe he's grown tired of Camilla's expanding influence within the royal household.
Yeah. And that's how you have to be so careful that you give them a spread of things to do.
As Camilla's role became more central during King Charles's reign, it's possible William began to feel sidelined or protective of what the monarchy should represent. This isn't just about personalities. It's about legacy, duty, and who gets to shape the future of the crown. If William truly is taking action, it marks a rare public split within the family's top tier. A prince challenging his stepmother, potentially over values and vision, sends a powerful message. And whatever happens next, it will no doubt have lasting effects. For outsiders, royal events look polished. Smiles, handshakes, perfectly rehearsed appearances. But if you look closely, you'll see signs of strain, especially between Camilla and Anne.
Don't worry too much about the things, the fashions, the things that come and go, and to understand what is the bed.
One recent moment caught the public's attention during a ceremony at the University of London. Camilla was set to receive an honorary degree. Anne, oddly enough, was the one presenting it. Everything seemed fine until it wasn't. At the entrance, Camilla politely tried to let Anne walk in first, following tradition. But Anne waved her ahead. That might sound small, but royal observers saw it as subtle resistance, a quiet protest. During the ceremony, polite compliments were exchanged. Anne even praised Camilla's modern spirit. But those watching closely noticed the stiff body language, the lack of warmth. Behind the carefully chosen words, something didn't sit right. This isn't just about etiquette, it's about power dynamics, about unresolved friction being masked by smiles. And when formal events start revealing personal tensions, the cracks in the royal facade become impossible to ignore. These moments fuel the speculation.
And it's a huge advantage if you have somebody who can be recognized as that, and not just in your...
Something's brewing, and it's becoming harder to hide. King Charles took the throne with big shoes to fill and modern expectations to meet. He's long been passionate about climate change and reform. And now, with global platforms like COP28, he's shown that he's not just a ceremonial figure. He wants to lead with purpose. But balancing modern views with royal traditions is no easy task, especially with internal family tensions unfolding in the background. Camilla's influence in his reign is undeniable. She's not just beside him, she's in the center. And not everyone supports that shift. Anne's rumored legal action and William's alleged response could be signs of deeper resistance. Charles wants to prove that the monarchy can evolve, that it can stay relevant. But that mission becomes harder when even close family members are pulling in different directions.
In many respects, need to deal with it. Not least
How he handles the silent rebellion, if it is one, will define his legacy. Will he be seen as a unifier, or as a monarch who allowed divisions to fester? The crown may be secure, but the foundation feels shaky. At this point, it's clear. This isn't a passing feud. It's a deep, complicated rift that's been simmering for years. Princess Anne and Queen Camilla represent two sides of royal life. Anne is tradition, work ethic, and private loyalty. Camilla, despite her efforts, still carries the weight of a complicated past and a rise to power that didn't sit well with everyone. Prince William stands between them. caught in a silent conflict that could shape the future of the royal family. It's not about petty rivalries, it's about values, about which direction the monarchy should take. Should it follow Anne's model of humble service? Or Camilla's example of modern image building? The answer isn't simple, and that's what makes this moment so important. If the reports are true, and William is now taking legal action alongside Anne, it's no longer just speculation. It's a signal that something has shifted, and it's big. Royal appearances might suggest unity, but beneath them lies a history of tension too deep to ignore. Let us know what you think in the comments. Is this the beginning of royal reform, or just another chapter in a never-ending family saga?